Welcome back to the SMT YouTube channel. In this video, I'd like to discuss a little bit about the, we'll say the aftermath or the fallout of EchoStar selling, a lot of those Boost Mobile 5G assets, the low band, the mid band spectrum, essentially, no pun intended, or pun intended, I guess, boosting the AT&T network. But we do get a weaker fourth provider. And I think this is something important we need to discuss. And I think Peter Adderton, the former Boost frontman, the founder of Boost Mobile, I think he's got some interesting perspective on this. So let's take a look at what he has to say and his perspective. So Boost founder Peter Adderton, who is currently also running Mobile X, founder of that business, prepaid and MVNO has always been important to the American consumer. He believes that competition is in the balance, and it's at a tipping point. He warns that the AT&T EchoStar deal significantly harms competition in the wireless market. He often mentions that the deal effectively would kill the perspective of a fourth national mobile network operator, which is what obviously the Department of Justice and the FCC were shooting for when they first approved the T-Mobile and Sprint merger with all those concessions. Now, the thing I've always been really focused on in all of these types of deals, whether it's the T-Mobile and Sprint merger or it's this one with AT&T and Dish, the FCC needs to do the right thing. And what they need to do is, if you're going to strengthen companies, which is perfectly fine with me, the companies need to also be held to certain conditions that enable competition within the marketplace. If you want to consolidate network assets, well, then you need to protect consumer protections who need access to networks. So without any type of regulatory safeguard or framework, the big three, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, will not really have incentive to offer favorable wholesale deals to the prepaid and MVNO partners. How are they going to negotiate a stronger position if they don't feel the need like they have to, right? And that's where the regulators come into play. And that's what I think Peter's position is. And of course, maybe it makes for a good opportunity to bring him on the pod. I'm sure he would join us. So maybe we'll reach out to him. But you have cable MVNOs. They've done a nice job of competing, right? And they're big companies, so they have leverage. Right now, they're starting to kind of pin Verizon and T-Mobile up against each other. But we definitely have confirmation through this transaction. An analyst will tell you, and Peter Adderton will tell you, and I'll tell you, that the risk of market consolidation continues to increase over time under this administration, with the opportunities for more mergers and acquisitions. And we've seen it. All you have to do is get rid of DEI and got yourself a merger. So reduce negotiations, reduce competition in the marketplace. Now Boost is basically more MVNO than MNO, right? So you're losing that. How do things play out with cable in the future? We don't know. When does AT&T come into the fold to actually do something like with what Verizon did with big cable? And, the T-Mobile getting involved, like, we need to see some of that thing, kind of happen. Look, I don't know. All I know is that Dish is kind of bailed out of their debt in this. AT&T becomes a fatter cat when it comes to spectrum. Boost Mobile is an afterthought from the MNO side. They supposedly got a sweeter deal from AT&T. I don't know how true that is and what that means. But I think Peter Adderton's got some pretty valid concerns, but they're not new. He's been saying these things for a while. And, obviously I think he wants Boost Mobile back, or at least the opportunity to get them. And he's got deep pockets. He could do it. And I think he's got the mind and the brand and the positive equity with the consumer. He could pull it off and do something good with it, because clearly Dish can't do it. So it's worth a shot. What do you guys think? What should happen? How should things play out? Give me your take. I welcome your questions, comments, and concerns. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out some more videos. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.